Welcome to UnJustified, where we always cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe now and hit the notification bell, and that way you will receive all of our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for being here, and we do hope you enjoy today's video. So just to let you all know, since we did cover the Gabby Petito case here quite extensively, in case you haven't heard yet, Gabby Petito's parents did file a lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's parents. Okay, last week, they made some changes to that lawsuit. They actually made 6 changes to it. They filed an amended lawsuit, and they claimed that Brian's parents went on vacation with their son while they knew that he had murdered Gabby, and they refused to even disclose the location of her remains. Gabby's mom and dad, Joe Petito and Nicole Smith, originally filed a lawsuit against Chris and Roberta Laundrie back in March. The lawsuit does continue to claim that Brian had murdered Gabby, and they even helped him to try and flee the country. Okay, Stephen Bertolino, which is a longtime lawyer for the Laundries and also a personal friend for them, called their allegations baseless. Okay, while this updated lawsuit does contain some very important changes, it also remains very absent of any actual evidence to back up the allegations that they're making against the Laundries. The news channels has asked him, how do you plan to back these allegations up when there's no evidence? And their answer is, quote, they'll have to wait and see, end quote. Okay, now here is the 6 changes that was made in the amended lawsuit. Okay, the first one is the lawsuit has been changed in regards to the Laundrie's family's camping trip that they took in early September at the Fort DeSoto campground after Brian returned home without Gabby. It now claims that the family went on vacation not only aware that Brian had murdered Gabby, but also with the knowledge of where Gabby's body was located, as a multi-state search effort was being conducted for her whereabouts. Now, while Gabby's family was suffering, the Laundrie family went on vacation to Fort DeSoto Park on September the 6th and 7th. This was, of course, in 2021. They went on this vacation knowing that Brian had murdered Gabby, and it is believed that they knew where her body was located, and they further knew that Gabby's parents was trying endlessly to locate her body or where she was. Another thing was in an added section in this lawsuit. Gabby's parents say that a statement claiming that the Laundries were hopeful the search for Gabby would be successful was beyond outrageous, completely ridiculous. The statement in question comes from September the 14th, which is before Gabby's remains were found in Wyoming. And the quote actually went as follows, quote, it is our understanding that a search has been organized for Miss Petito in or near the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. On behalf of the Laundrie family, it is our hope that the search for Miss Petito is successful and that Miss Petito is reunited with her family, end quote. Now, this new lawsuit singles out this comment and the word hope, because for the Laundries to express their hope that Gabby was located and reunited with their family at a time when they knew she had been murdered by their son, that was beyond outrageous. Now, that's what the lawsuit says. But you can kind of look at that quote in a different way. Like, you can kind of look at that like they did know where she was, and they did hope that they were successful in finding her body, and her body can be reunited with their family. I mean, it can be looked at it that way, because it doesn't say anything in this quote that Stephen Bertolino put out there that they hope that Gabby is found safe and sound. It doesn't say that. It just says they hope she is found successfully and she can be reunited. Well, that happened. She was found and she was reunited, but not in the way that she should have been. Okay, the third thing, in Section 28 of this lawsuit, law enforcement has been removed from the mentioned parties that Chris and Roberta Laundrie allegedly refused to communicate with, despite the fact that Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt, who is Gabby's parents, implored that Chris and Roberta Laundrie to tell them if their daughter was alive, and if she was not, at least where her remains were located. Chris and Roberta refused to respond to either of Gabby's parents or even law enforcement. Now, this is what the updated lawsuit reads, and that is true. Okay, the fourth thing that was updated in it is Section 31 of the lawsuit, and it has been reworked to specify claims that the Laundries were aware of the pain and the suffering that Gabby's parents were experiencing because of her disappearance. And it says, quote, Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie knew of the mental suffering and anguish of Joe Petito and Nicole Schmidt in not knowing the well-being or location of their daughter, and further knew that such mental suffering and anguish increased each day that Gabby was missing. Okay, now the suit now reads this way. Chris and Roberta Laundrie further knew that they could prevent such additional mental suffering and anguish of Joseph Petito and Nicole Smith by disclosing what they knew about the well-being and location of the remains of Gabby Petito. Yet, they repeatedly refused to do so, and in doing so, Chris and Roberta Laundrie acted with malice or great indifference to the rights of Joseph Petito and Nicole Smith. And the fifth change was Section 32 of the lawsuit, and they argue that it is extreme and outrageous conduct that goes beyond all possible bounds of decency due to claims of actions that are shocking, atrocious, and utterly intolerable in a civilized community. A. Allegation of failing to inform Gabby's parents that she was deceased. B. Allegations of failing to inform Gabby's parents of the location of her body. And C. Taking a family vacation while allegedly knowing Gabby's parents were desperately seeking her whereabouts. D. Allegation of blocking access to their phones and Facebook page. And E. Issuing a statement of quote-unquote hope while allegedly knowing that Gabby was deceased. And then the sixth thing, this is the most important amendment, and that is separating the counts issued by and against all parties. Count 1, Joseph Petito versus Christopher Laundrie. Count 2, Joseph Petito versus Roberta Laundrie. Count 3, Nicole Schmidt versus Chris Laundrie. And number 4, Nicole Schmidt versus Roberta Laundrie. The Laundries, through their attorneys, have repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. They are expected to file a second motion for dismissal. Now, this revised lawsuit maintains several bombshell allegations against the Laundries, including new information about Gabby's exact cause of death. If the lawsuit survives attempts to dismiss, a jury trial has been set for the week of August the 14th, 2023. And this is going to be at the South County Courthouse in Sarasota, Florida. The trial is going to be open to the public, with international media attention very, very likely. This will mark the first time that the Petito case actually reaches a courtroom. And while it would be a civil case instead of a criminal one, it would reveal the highly anticipated evidence that Petito and Schmidt claim to have to support these accusations. See, lots of things are being questioned, and there again, we're coming back with this, what really happened to Brian? You know, and in case you haven't heard, we actually have a 25-year seasoned veteran FBI, and she says that after really looking at Brian's autopsy, something's not right. Something's not right, and it really bothers her. She only has 3 explanations, and it seems like she honestly feels like he had assistance, help in his quote, end quote, suicide. Just listen at this.
Who tracked each twist of the Gabby Petito case. She's using her expertise to pick up on small details others may have missed.
Specifically, she is raising questions about the autopsy report of Petito's fiance, Brian Laundrie.
Have you ever seen a case like this?
No.
Jennifer Coffindaffer, who served 25 years in the FBI, combed through the autopsy report. Most startling to her, the determination Laundrie shot himself in the left side of the head, despite indications in the autopsy he was right-hand dominant. Coffindaffer calls that bothersome. Why bothersome?
Because it does not fit with a right-handed person committing suicide with their offhand. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but I cannot ignore facts, and statistics would say that a predominantly right-handed person does not commit suicide with their left hand.
Coffindaffer says she believes anyone obsessed with the case will remain focused on Laundrie's final decision.
To me, the case doesn't end because it ends with a question mark. How or why did he choose his non-dominant hand to shoot himself?
And we've obviously heard a lot about this case in September. Any new developments does she expect?
Well, she says not really. She thinks the autopsy could be the final news release on the case. She does not expect anything else from the FBI, but the civil side of this is expected to bring us some new angle. Will we hear about that? And what evidence will we see in that civil case?
Thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave us a comment below on your thoughts of this video. And until next time, this is UnJustified.